Donald Trump is losing control. Last night, he flooded social media with a bizarre series of posts. Photos of himself over and over again claiming to be the Tariff King. Yes, he actually called himself Mr. Tariff. But here's where it gets insane. Just weeks ago, Trump promised the people of Iran that if they stood up against the Ayatollah, he would have their back. No questions asked. He even vowed to send U.S. forces to protect protesters. Now, fast forward to today, and Trump is out here thanking the Ayatollah for canceling 800 planned hangings. What's happening here? Why the sudden flip? Stick with me, because this is far from over, and what happens next will change everything. Let's take a step back. Trump's meltdown last night isn't just about a man seeking attention. It's part of a much larger pattern. He's been promising a lot of things and failing to deliver on nearly all of them. Remember how he stood in front of the world swearing that he'd protect the Iranian protesters? How he said that the U.S. would strike if the regime killed even one of them? Fast forward to now, and his sudden praise for the Ayatollah, it's a complete 180. But this isn't just about one failed promise. It's about a strategy that's falling apart at the seams. What does this tell us about how he views power, diplomacy, and the people who put him in office? What's really going on behind the scenes? Here's the first piece of the puzzle. Trump posted his admiration for the Ayatollah, thanking him for halting over 800 executions. Now think about this for a second. This is a man who once declared that if a single protester was killed, the U.S. would step in with force. Yet now he's essentially giving the Ayatollah a pass. Why? What does this sudden shift say about Trump's ability to follow through on his promises? Notice what's missing here. Trump didn't mention the thousands of protesters who were killed in cold blood. He didn't mention the thousands more still locked away in prison. He didn't even acknowledge the internet blackout that's keeping the world in the dark. Why leave that out? The answer might be darker than we realize. Now, the situation only intensifies. Think about the bigger picture. This is the same leader who, just a few years ago, was promising to take down regimes that oppress their people. Fast forward to today, and we're watching him fall in line with a brutal dictator. This isn't just a change of heart. It's a dangerous pattern emerging. The same pattern that's been seen before, where words are cheap, but actions speak volumes. Trump is normalizing things that shouldn't be normal, praising authoritarian regimes, ignoring human rights violations, and abandoning the very people he promised to protect. And here's the thing, he's not even hiding it. This is who he is. And the question now is, how far will he go before it's too late? Let's dig deeper. Trump's behavior doesn't just stop at praising dictators, it goes further. While the world watches him cozy up to authoritarian leaders, he's also making decisions that directly harm everyday Americans. Case in point, his administration's so-called solution to inflation. One piece of chicken, one tortilla, one broccoli, that's the meal plan. That's their answer to rising prices. And the Wall Street Journal even went out to test this inflation-busting advice. You want to know what they found? A $3 meal? If you're lucky. This isn't just bad policy. It's an insult. It's the kind of tone deafness that shows exactly how disconnected this administration is from the realities most people face. How much more of this can we take? Things are unraveling fast. It's not just the ridiculous meal plan or the praise for the Ayatollah. It's a cascade of disasters happening in real time. Trump's CIA director, John Ratcliffe, is cozying up with Venezuelan officials tied to the worst kind of human rights abuses. Meanwhile, Trump's regime is selling Venezuelan oil to his right-wing oligarch buddies, but the profits aren't going to the U.S. Treasury. They're funneled into mysterious bank accounts in Qatar. This isn't just business as usual. It's a crisis in the making. Add to that the pardons he's handing out like candy, criminals involved in fraud, bribery, and insider trading. Every action, every decision seems to push the country closer to the edge. What happens if this continues? Where does it all lead? But let's pause for a second. This isn't just about policies or international politics. This is about real people, the ones affected by all this chaos, the ones who will pay the price for these failures. When the system starts to collapse, it's not the elite who suffer, it's everyday Americans. Families struggling with rising costs, communities dealing with the fallout of an unstable government, and people left in the dark as promises go unfulfilled. This is no longer just a political game, it's about survival. If this feels familiar, if you've seen how systems can fail, drop a comment. Let's talk about how this all hits home. Now let's move beyond the outrage. It's easy to get caught up in the chaos, but what's really happening behind the scenes? There's a mechanism in place that allows this to happen. It's not just about a few bad decisions. It's about leverage, fear, and the spectacle of power. Leaders like Trump thrive in chaos. It gives them control. The people they surround themselves with are invested in maintaining this instability because it keeps them at the top. Meanwhile, the rest of us are left to pick up the pieces. This isn't just political dysfunction. It's a system working exactly as it was designed to, and that's the most unsettling part of all. So where do we go from here? There are two possible paths unfolding right before our eyes. On one hand, we could see more of the same broken promises, the same false solutions, and the same dangerous disregard for human lives. On the other hand, there's the possibility of something much more dramatic, a complete collapse of trust in the system. People are already starting to turn away, and as the pressure builds, something will give. The question is, when? What's coming next? And who will be there to pick up the pieces when it all falls apart? As we look back on all of this, one thing is clear. We're witnessing the unraveling of more than just a political career. We're seeing the collapse of a system that has failed its people. From the praise of dictators to the insane inflation-busting meal plans, Trump's actions are not just reckless, they're a sign of a much larger breakdown. And while we can't predict exactly how this will end, one thing's for sure, it's already in motion. The next move is already forming, and we're not even close to seeing the full picture. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, keep following for more updates and analysis. Don't miss what comes next.